Hey, this is John with FixYourDirtBike.com. I'm here in the Cuchara recreation area in the San Isabel National Forest in southern Colorado. First off, it is beautiful and well worth the trip. So, just want to get that out of the way. But before you watch the video, it is definitely worth the drive. First impressions, though, is up in the campgrounds, it is a camping and then a kind of a riding place. It's more family oriented, so just keep that in mind. If you want to come up here with your group of guys and get rowdy at night, this isn't the place to do it. There are campgrounds and RV places down in La Veta, which is about 45 minutes away, where that's the place to do that. Altitude. Up here, it took about a day to get used to this place. I'm from the Midwest, the low plains, so 10,000 feet up in the air, took a bit to get used to. And that's where I am right now, 10,000 feet, where I'm sitting, 10,000 feet above sea level. The closest town of Cuchara is 7,000 feet, so you got to climb 3,000 feet just to get to the campsite. The campsites are fairly small. They don't have any RV hookups, and if you have a big RV, just don't even bother. My trailer is 26 feet. I barely fit. It took 3 guys in a half hour just to park the dang thing. Then I had to drop my trailer and park my truck at a different campsite. So small RVs, small campers, and tents are the way to go out here. There are, like I said, there's no hookups, but they do have vault toilets and like a water pump, a hand water pump. I'm here in the middle of August, and the weather is perfect, I guess I could say. Right now it's mid-70s, gets down to about 50s at night. The weather, though, is a bit unpredictable. This morning it was raining. Now it's super bright. It's probably going to rain later. The first night I was here, it hailed. So, because you're so up in the mountains and the air currents are so random, I guess you could say, that just don't expect any one weather pattern. Yesterday when I was out in the trails for the better part of the day, it was super hot, then it was raining, then it was dark, then it was raining again. When I got back to the camp, it was nice and sunny. There are 2 trails here. There's the Cuchara Peak Trail off of this campsite, and then the Indian Creek Trail off of the other campsite. This is Blue Lake, campsite. And Cuchara Peak is, right off it. Literally 20 yards that way, you got the trail. Now, it's a trail for everybody. Jeeps, side-by-sides, ATVs, motorcycles, horses, and foot traffic. I don't recommend hiking it. It's a pain. As far as Jeeps go, make sure you got fuel injected and oil carburetors set. I ran into a really old Willys up there, and they could barely turn around to go down the mountain because it got so high that the carbs couldn't handle it, and then they almost got stranded up there. So, and the peak of Cuchara is 12,690 feet. So from where I'm sitting to up there is over 2,500 feet of climbing. And the trails are pretty wide, except for Jeeps and side-by-sides. They're not maintained because they don't need to be. They're all rocks and some dirt. So on your way up, just gotta make sure your suspension's set. If you want to have a good time, go fast. Gotta have a good suspension because you'll just get beat constantly. And then as soon as you get out of the tree line, about halfway up, you'll just be on gravel road or big rock roads. I think there was a mine up there at one point. There's some old machinery sitting up there, so I guess it's an old mining road. But it does have some pretty serious drop-offs, and if you're not careful, that will get real bad. So just keep that in mind. The Indian Creek Trail, that one is long. All total, it's about 22 miles long, and I got about 15 miles of it yesterday, and I couldn't do it anymore. It was so long. It was so uphill, downhill, rocky, ruddy. For dirt bikes, if you really want a challenge, this is the place. And I can lie, I had a lot of fun out there, but it kicked my ass. There's one trail called Baker's Trail that is for bikes, horses, and hiking only. Keep that in mind because it is narrow and it's on like the mountain comes down and then it's this hill, a little bit of a trail, and then hill, and it got a little dicey. There are parts where it's nice and calm and, you know, rolling hills, and then you get to the switchbacks that are all rocks and scary. And I thought that I was just tired and, you know, just not paying attention, having trouble getting up these hills. And I look over one of the switchbacks and there's a cross nailed to a tree. So yeah, all I said were dates were 1969 to 2009. So I go, oh, okay, so this is a hard trail. So keep that in mind. If you want a challenge, that's the place, but don't go by yourself. I did, and I shouldn't have. Other than that, the trail is for ATVs is the biggest thing you can take out there. And it is rocks and mostly rocks and some dirt. It's not a lot of mud because it is a lot of runoff. So a couple creek crossings, which are pretty cool. Nothing major, nothing like, you know, deep. But that trail is really nice, and if I had more time, I'd spend it out there. I hit Cuchara a couple times because it is pretty short, but it's straight up, and it is fun. Just rail it all the way up the hill. That's pretty fun. Coming down though, kind of wasn't very fun because it's all clutching arms. You know, you just got to keep an eye on it because my wheel kept kicking on me because of the rocks. So, all in all, this place is amazing. It is really amazing. I mean, you can park here for a day and just stare at the scenery all day. I spent about a half hour in the Cuchara Peak because it's incredible. I mean, you can see miles and miles and miles and miles away. And I mean, I saw a giant storm cell over here. Then over here it was nice and sunny. And I can't really describe it. I have pictures of it that are on the website, but they don't hardly do it justice. It's definitely worth a trip. It's a lot of fun. It will test you if you're not really used to it. And I hope to be back here within the year. Hopefully I'll bring my wife and maybe my parents and some people to hang out with because it's just me out here. So like, subscribe, and I will see you next time.